Alright guys, welcome to the video today. So what you're watching is a gameplay from Rumble that I got a few minutes ago. I've been playing all day. I got really tired of sniping, and you know, the snipe shot fades after a while once you play for like 6 to 7 hours, at least in my case. So I decided before I was going to get off, I was going to run into a game of Rumble on my Striker Titan like the good old days, that 1 to 2 month period where all I did was run around on a Striker Titan with a shotgun and a pulse rifle of some sort. So I'm using the vendor Hawksaw right here, as well as the Matador with Luck in the Chamber and Rangefinder. It's a ton of fun. You kind of have to get used to the whole Titan thing. A lot of people aren't used to it. There was a point in time where I used it for about 2 months. I got really sick of using a Hunter and Blade Dancer and all that, and I wanted to try something new, and I thought it was unique and different because not many people used the Titan, especially in competitive matches against people, otherwise known as sweaty matches. So I gave it a try and I started getting pretty good at it. I was getting really fast. A lot of people think that your overall speed depends on how fast you press the jump button and all that. So I just decided I'll kind of make this video explaining how the whole fast or speedy Titan thing works. So the first thing is the controller that I'm using. I'm using a Scuf controller with 2 paddles. You can use any type of different button assignment. This is what I used to do before I had a Scuf. So there's 3 means that you can have, unless you're on Xbox, and there's only 2. To be able to Titan skate and Titan skate as fast as I'm doing right here. Of course, I'm a little rusty because I haven't done it in a while, but you get the general idea of the concept behind Titan skating. So what I did at the very beginning, I went in my PlayStation settings, and there's a way that you can reassign buttons. I switched L1 with X, so now pressing the L1 button was the equivalent of pressing X, and vice versa. So that allowed me to still play on Puppeteer and slide with my R3, but I could also jump with L1, and that allowed me to tap the jump button extremely fast, and while I still have control over my aiming stick. And that's kind of the whole concept behind it. Of course, you don't get the full effect that you would get with a Scuf or playing Claw. If you don't know what Claw is, it's basically a very unique and awkward finger arrangement you can do on your controller to access every single button without ever having to take your finger off of the aiming stick or the movement stick. And overall, Claw is really hard to learn, but before Scufs existed, that was the only way of doing it. A lot of people played Bumper Jumper, or they played Scuf personally, or not Scuf, Claw. But now, since the Scuf is out and I got one, someone ended up paying for it for me. I wouldn't have probably bought it by myself because it's a lot of money. It's about 150 bucks. I bought the most standard thing you could possibly buy. Black, no button customization, anything like that. But I do have my paddles mapped to jump, which is X, and then triangle, which is switch weapon. And what this allows me to do is I can basically float around while having complete control over my character, as well as switching weapons. So there's a lot of times where I'll be like floating one way, turn around, mid 360, pull out my shotgun, and then shotgun melee people. It's really handy to have this extra switch weapon thing, which a lot of people don't really realize. A lot of people, when they get a Scuf, they map it to a different button. But personally, especially for shotgunning, I don't really like it for sniping, because sometimes I'll try to shoot a sniper bullet and then I'll switch my weapon too quickly. But for shotgunning, switching your weapon while you're Titan gliding is extremely important, and I think it overall is probably your best option if you're buying a Scuf. But if you're not, button assignments is just as good. But I want to kind of explain how the whole Titan movement thing works, what people have said in the past, and what is actually the truth. So a lot of people have been saying, it's just spamming your button really fast, and that's all it is. But I can tell you guys, there's a pretty steep learning curve to how you can Titan glide. So like when the first when a DLC first came out and there's new PvP maps, I was terrible at skating on those maps, because what you have to do when you're skating is you really just learn the terrain, learn how the maps feel, and essentially what you're doing when you're Titan skating is bouncing yourself off surfaces in order to go faster. Same thing goes with double jump. Like if you have Amkara with double jump with better control, then you can jump off ceilings. Like if you're in like a low hanging doorway, you can just spam jump and you can move extremely fast. This is kind of the same concept, because you're bursting every single individual time to get more speed, and the jumping ability, which if you guys didn't know already, that you use is increased control on your Titan striker, as well as shoulder charge. So I'm going to talk about the shoulder charge dismount thing later, but as far as just normal skating goes, it's tapping your controller extremely fast, or your jump button extremely fast, but you have to know the timing of it. You don't want to be too low to the ground or too high off the ground. Just kind of pay attention to how high I am off the ground in this video, and you can kind of get a good sense for how you should be doing it. It takes a very long time, so don't get discouraged if you can't do it at first. It took a while for me to learn. So I figured I'll just kind of put this video together to kind of teach people. So just kind of pay attention to your level off the ground, learn the maps, you know, piece by piece. You know, you get that feeling where you really just want to run around with a shotgun the whole game, but it ends up getting you killed a lot of the time, especially if you're new to skating. So just practice it as much as you can. In PvP, you will get better. As far as the shoulder charge dismount thing, it's more of a timing thing. You just kind of have to play around with it. Look at different videos of people Titan skating, like my videos or anything like that, and look at the timing of when they start pressing the boost after the shoulder charge, and then go into a rumble game and just keep practicing till you get better. There's a few different Titan skating guides that are out there, so I'm going to link those in the description if you guys want to check those out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay, thought it was something cool, a little bit different than my usual sniping gameplay, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.